Good morning, students, and welcome to the second video of Unit 2 of Energy Management. During the first video session, we have studied different terms, different aspects, scenarios related with energy. In this video, we are going to study what are the main steps in energy reforms. In order to understand energy management, as a background, you must know that what are various parameters that generalized energy reforms. As we have studied that during late 80s, there was the invention of electricity by Thomas Alva Edison and Nikola Tesla. Thereafter, the practicing of electrical energy installation, distribution started. Firstly, the street lights were illuminated, and thereafter electricity also arrived at our homes. It was 1910 that the first Electricity Supply Act was formulated by the then British government, and in this act, the provision was given to the licensees. Licensees would be established in the advent of Indian Electricity Act 1910, and all over country number of licenses set up for generation and distribution of energy. As we have discussed, that in Pune, PESCO, that is Pune Electric Supply Company, was the licensee who was giving supply prior to MACB. Thereafter, in 1948, the Supply Act was amended, and it was felt necessary to have the intervention of government in power sector. Therefore, it was encouraged to establish SEBs like state electricity boards, and the functioning of state electricity board started from 1948 onwards. For instance, in 1963, Maharashtra State Electricity Board was established in Maharashtra, and it was there for quite a longer, up to 2005, when there was unbundling thereafter. The main purpose of establishment of ACBs was to provide GTD services to consumers. GTD stands for Generation, Transmission and Distribution of Energy. As you have seen under earlier, that 11 kV 50 Hz is the generation parameters of uh, India. Now 11 kV cannot be transmitted economically, therefore it was stepped up by using step up transformers and then transmitted. At the receiving end, again it was stepped down to the distribution level and given to consumers for utilization. So this is the typical GTD pattern of power sector. Then in 1956, the IE rules were formed, which will have more emphasis on what are the different norms of energy installations. For example, the important provisions under IE rules were maintaining clearances, rather minimum clearances. For different system voltages, there are different clearances like phase to phase, phase to ground, sectional clearance, building clearance, and so on. So I rules made it clear that what should be the minimum clearance under this scenario. The other provision of I rules was safety. Electric safety has become very important to safeguard human life, system, and animals, etc., fire hazards, etc. Therefore, provisions to use hand gloves, safety belts, safety shoes, helmets while working on electric supply were formulated under IE rules. Secondly, provisions for other types like theft, connection, disconnection of supply were made in IE rules, which was accepted there. In the advent of IE rules, the very important body was formed, that is CEA, Central Electricity Authority, that was developed for handling all the electricity related issues. Today also CEA is the topmost authority in electrical engineering. Then in 2001, Energy Conservation Act came, and it gave provision to conservation of energy. We know that conservation of energy is optimal use of energy. It is a type of saving of energy, and 1 unit saved is equivalent to 1 unit generated. So that way it is very important to have energy conservation. The EAM comprises of conservation as an important topic. Then Electric Supply Act 2003 was formulated, in which unbundling of MACB, unbundling of ACBs was mentioned. It was made more clear in the 2005 Act. The other provisions were open access, private participation, and so on. So this was more emphasized in the Electric Act 2005, with the advent of which the former MACB, that is Maharashtra State Electricity Board, or other ACBs in country, were unbundled into three different companies like Generation Company, Mahajanco, Transmission Company, Mahatransco, and Distribution Company, Mahadiscom or Mahavitran. So in this way, three companies were unbundled, formed under the head of one apex body, that is MACB Holding Company, which is observing all the transactions being made by these three companies. So the working of the three companies started from 5th June 2005. Now the regulatory bodies were established as CEA as a whole thing. Then CERC, that is Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, was established. Maharashtra Electricity Regulatory Commission was also established, and other state regulatory commissions in electricity were also established. The main function of these ACBs was to govern the working of ACBs and utilities. Earlier, between utility and consumer, no body was existing. But now ACRC were introduced, and they are monitoring the working of electricity boards. In order to finance power sector, number of financial institutions were set up, among them PFC, that is Power Finance Corporation, was established, which gives financial aid to utilities to develop substations, power stations, transmission line networks, etc. Similarly, REC, that is Rural Electrification Corporation, was also developed. World Bank is also a funding agency. Japanese bank is also there. They will provide funds to power sector. Then PSUs were established, public supply undertakings, public sector undertakings rather, like BARC, NPC, NHPC, NTPC, PGCIL, and all these. The Navratna companies are the 9 profit making companies under these PSUs. Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited (BHEL), PGCIL Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, NTPC National Thermal Power Corporation. These are some of the companies under the Navratna companies of central government. Then, in order to monitor technical flow or power flow right from generation to consumer, the intervening companies like LDCs, load dispatch centers, were developed. At state level, there were SLDC, State Load Dispatch Center. At regional level, there was RLDC, Regional Load Dispatch Center, under WREB, that is Western Regional Electricity Board. So in this way, these bodies or these dispatch centers used to monitor the power flow. Now the next and recent development in energy reforms is energy grid projects or smart grid projects. As we know that smart grid is the combination of three technologies like electrical technology, communication technology, and information technologies. These three technologies, when brought together, form a grid called smart grid. Earlier, the scenario was simple, from even a radial grid to ringman grid, there was only flow of power. But now, in the advent of new features like open access, it became essentially to transmit energy along with information. So the information and communication technology came in picture, which resulted into two important terms like different things. And in this way, the formation took place. AMR and AMI, that is automatic meter reading, and in metering infrastructure. These are the two terms were developed, and later on, as a first step of smart grid projects, 14 pilot projects were identified in India, out of which Baramati is one of these projects. And as a pilot project, efforts are being made to develop a smart grid project at Baramati. So, as of today, this is enough for introducing what are the main steps in energy reforms. So, we'll wrap up here and see you in the next session. Thank you so much for watching.